On a une première question pour toi, Jean-François Morancy.
Oui, bonjour Wilfried. J'imagine qu'à ce moment-ci, tu ne nous dévoileras pas de secret sur la titularisation de demain, mais c'est un gros match. On affronte un gros club, c'est un gros stade, il y a l'altitude. Club est jeune. Est-ce que tu pourrais utiliser, par exemple, un Chouanière ou un Mihailovic à la droite de Wanyama pour limiter la fébrilité d'un Koné, par exemple, ou d'un Zoué qui ont peut-être moins d'expérience?
Tout est possible. Georgie a déjà joué dans cette position-là. Le match contre Santos, le premier match, il avait joué dans cette position-là. C'est une position à laquelle on avait déjà discuté en début de saison et l'année dernière, qu'il pouvait nous dépanner aussi sur ça, ou il pouvait pas nous dépanner, il pouvait jouer sur ça. Donc, tout est possible, oui.
Prochaine question, Dave Lévesque.
Oui, bonjour Wilfried. Bon, évidemment, on sait ce qui s'est passé au Mexique le week-end dernier. Finalement, on a appris aujourd'hui que votre match serait présenté avec spectateurs. Je présume que ça fait votre affaire. Vous préférez toujours avoir des partisans qui sont contre vous que personne dans le stade?
Ouais, j'étais surpris. Au début, c'était sans spectateurs. Donc, apparemment, bon, maintenant, ça a été officiel que c'est avec les spectateurs. Je reste surpris, mais bon, c'est comme ça. C'est comme ça. Ils ont pris cette décision-là au niveau de la Ligue mexicaine. Donc voilà. Donc, on va faire avec. On sait très bien l'environnement. Ça aurait été super de jouer à huis clos. Mais comme d'habitude, il y aura du monde. Donc, on va faire notre match et on va tout donner.
Jérémy Filosa.
Salut, coach. J'espère que ça va bien.
Ça va.
Coach, vous êtes avec l'équipe depuis assez longtemps. Je ne sais pas si c'est juste moi, mais j'ai comme toujours l'impression qu'à chaque année, on se retrouve dans des situations où il manque plusieurs joueurs. Est-ce que c'est une particularité de Montréal? Est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose, par exemple, du camp d'entraînement qu'on doit revoir? Parce qu'on dirait qu'on commence toujours l'année avec 1 ou 2 ou 3 joueurs en moins et on se retrouve dans des situations où on n'a pas les éléments qu'on veut, dans les chaises qu'on veut ou la profondeur qu'on aimerait avoir. Il me semble que je me répète depuis les années de Rémi Garde. Est-ce que je me trompe et est-ce qu'il y a quelque chose qu'on peut faire par rapport à ça?
Cette année, on était bien, sauf qu'on n'a pas eu de chance. Je ne crois pas trop à la chance, mais ça a été un fait par rapport aux blessés que l'on a eu. Hormis la blessure de Mason, et encore Mason, quand il s'est blessé tout seul, et en faisant une passe. Donc, ce n'était pas parce qu'on avait donné une charge de travail qui était trop difficile ou quoi que ce soit. Il s'est blessé tout seul. Donc, il avait une faiblesse par rapport à ça. Et Bjorn, vous savez sa situation. Donc, c'était encore une fois, c'est la première fois que ça arrive. Nous aussi, c'est la même chose aussi. C'est hors de notre contrôle. Et donc après, là, on a Rommel qui a eu un carton rouge. Donc, c'est la première fois de ma vie que en tant qu'assistant, c'est jamais arrivé, qu'on a 4 joueurs, 4 attaquants qui sont sur le côté. C'est la première fois. Donc ça, c'est pas notre faute, j'ai envie de dire. Ce sont des faits qui sont arrivés, qui font que, voilà. Après, si je reviens sur Hamdi, je ne sais pas si vous êtes au courant comment il s'est blessé, mais Hamdi s'est blessé contre Philadelphie, où il y a un joueur qui est tombé sur sa jambe. Donc, ça fait qu'il s'est fait mal à la cheville. Donc, ce n'est pas une question d'entraînement, ce n'est pas une question de charge qui était trop haute ou quoi. Il s'est blessé malheureusement sur un duel. Le joueur qui n'était pas dans le duel, le joueur est tombé sur lui, donc il s'est blessé. Sam Piet, vous l'avez vu comme moi, il s'est blessé avec l'équipe nationale. Donc, du coup, voilà. Donc, par rapport à ta question, j'ai envie de te dire que non, on était bien, mais malheureusement, on s'est retrouvé dans une situation où on a eu des joueurs qui se sont blessés, pas par rapport à une mauvaise gestion de pré-saison ou quoi que ce soit. Donc, c'est comme ça pour l'instant. Donc, je fais avec et en espérant que ces joueurs reviennent très bientôt pour nous aider.
In English now, Herb Zukowski.
Merci, Patrick. Hello, Wilfried. I hope you're well today. Thank you for your time. Did you learn anything from that first game that you can use to the first game against Santos Laguna? I mean, that you can use to your advantage. By that I mean, you started on the road, you kept the game close, and everybody felt that down only one goal that would work to your advantage coming home. So can you use anything like that? Do you think it's an advantage starting on the road?
I don't know. It could be an advantage, but again, you know me. If let's say hopefully tomorrow we're gonna do a good game and we're gonna be able to score goals, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good for us. But at the same time, what they learn, the player, what I learn is always the same in terms of environment. So they know the environment now. The first game gave us the possibility to learn about this. So we know that where we're going to play is going to be, it will be difficult in terms of the pitch, in terms of the fans and the stadium and everything like that. But they are ready for that. They are ready for that. So the altitude now, we know that this is something also different. You can feel in my voice that I'm struggling a bit also. But again, the player, the fact that we played against Santos in Mexico, in altitude also a bit, so they know those. So they are ready.
Jonathan Siegel.
Hi, Wilfried. Thank you for the time as always. What do you feel is most key for a Major League Soccer team when facing an opponent from Liga MX? And how do you feel kind of the approach against Santos could benefit you all coming into the quarterfinals now, knowing you've already beaten a team from Liga MX?
So, you know, we've a lot of, I respect every team, like I like to say, and after that, we have a way of playing. And me, what I want to see is my team play the way we usually play, knowing that we're going to have bad moments, knowing that playing away against a Mexican team is going to be difficult. We know that because the tendency of all the Mexican teams are really aggressive. They try to press, they try to play with a high level of intensity. So again, we're going to have to match the intensity, but we're going to have to be good also to when we're going to have the ball, because we know that if we have the ball, we have the possibility to do something good also. So we have to find the good balance between that. And when they're going to put the pressure, so we have to defend, we have to be strong, we have to be stronger than the last couple of games, sorry. But we need to play our game. And this is what, this is going to be my message for the players. So try to, we know that the context is going to be difficult, yes, but play our game, play the way we play, and try to match the intensity.
Olivier Paradis Lemieux. Olivier, est-ce que tu es là? On ne t'entend pas. Désolé, ton micro est ouvert, mais on ne t'entend pas. On passe à un autre Olivier. Olivier Brett, cette fois.
Oui, merci beaucoup, Will. Peut-être deux petites questions sur l'Azteca. Tu as parlé tout à l'heure du fait que ce ne sera pas à huis clos, que tu étais un peu surpris. Je ne sais pas si tu serais capable d'aller un petit peu plus loin dans ta réflexion et expliquer la surprise. Puis, je parlais avec Mathieu en fin de semaine, puis je lui demandais c'était quoi les sentiments qui l'habitaient pour aller visiter un stade mythique comme celui-là. Il me disait être très excité. Pour toi, comme coach, ça représente quoi?
Ben, super excité. Encore une fois, moi, je suis quelqu'un, j'aime bien découvrir les choses, comme tout le monde, j'ai envie de dire. Mais ben voilà, jouer dans un club mythique, dans un stade mythique aussi comme ça, je fais ce métier-là pour ça. Donc, je vais bien regarder, je vais ouvrir mes grands yeux et voir justement, ressentir justement cette atmosphère-là, et de voir aussi, j'aime bien regarder quand je vais dans un club, de voir un peu les installations qu'ils ont, voir un peu quelle idée on peut prendre, qu'est-ce que l'on peut prendre de chez eux. Donc voilà, donc c'est très content, très excité de jouer ce match contre cette équipe-là et avec un stade mythique. Et après, non, surpris parce que j'avais envie d'être surpris que le match ne se joue, que l'on joue à huis clos, mais finalement, voilà, on ne joue pas à huis clos et donc on va faire avec.
Gavino de Falco.
Merci beaucoup, Patrick. Wilfried, on ne peut pas passer à côté sur les événements qui sont survenus au Mexique dimanche en fin de semaine, là. Écoute, tu peux-tu me parler de comment tu as réagi lorsque tu as vu ça et tu t'es dit, écoute, je m'en vais au Mexique, non seulement dans un endroit hostile, mais un endroit maintenant dangereux. Qu'est-ce qu'on devrait faire ou on pourrait faire de mieux pour améliorer la sécurité dans les stades? Merci.
Déjà, dans un premier temps, on m'a envoyé les vidéos, mais je ne les ai pas regardées parce que j'ai du mal, je ne peux pas regarder ça. J'ai vu des images et ça m'a suffi. Donc, déjà, dans un premier temps, triste parce que les supporters et les fans sont très importants. Et quand on est sur le terrain, parce qu'ils nous poussent, parce qu'on joue pour eux. Et le fait de voir qu'il y a eu ces événements qui se sont passés, c'est parce que l'on veut voir. Tout le monde le sait. On ne joue pas pour ça. On joue pour avoir du plaisir. Bien sûr qu'il y a une rivalité, il doit y avoir une rivalité qui est saine, j'ai envie de dire, même si je sais, je viens d'Europe, c'est normal qu'il y ait de temps en temps des bagarres, parce que c'est comme ça. Mais là, c'était waouh, ça fait froid dans le dos. Donc après, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Il faut sanctionner. Il faut sanctionner dans un premier temps. Moi, c'est comme ça que je le vois, sanctionner. Maintenant, de nos jours, on a la chance d'avoir la vidéo, on a la chance d'avoir des gros plans. Donc, je pense qu'il faut sanctionner les personnes qui ont agi comme ça. Et après, le reste, parce qu'encore une fois, c'est une minorité. Et donc, je pense, pour moi, je souhaiterais qu'on soit très, très dur avec ces personnes-là.
Deux dernières questions pour Wilfried, Dave à nouveau.
Oui, Wilfried, Cruz Azul a disputé, ce sera leur 9e match dans le dernier mois. Ils ont quelques blessés. Sens-tu qu'il y a un coup à jouer pour vous et que vous arriverez peut-être au bon moment contre eux?
Je ne sais pas si on arrive au bon moment. Je sais que l'entraîneur a fait beaucoup tourner, mais il disait que tous les 2 matchs, il voulait faire tourner ses joueurs. Donc, ouais, il y a eu quelques blessés. Il y a quelques blessés, mais encore une fois, qu'on les prenne maintenant, qu'on les prenne plus tard, mon discours a été le même. Donc, d'essayer de faire quelque chose, de ramener quelque chose de bien pour qu'on ait l'opportunité de jouer chez nous avec un avantage si on peut, ou en tout cas, pour faire quelque chose de bien devant nos fans.
Et Jeff à nouveau, pour terminer.
Oui, Wilfried, je voulais justement faire du millage là-dessus. Reynoso, lors de la dernière rencontre, a laissé de côté Angulo, Rivero, Rodriguez, Antuna. Donc, finalement, toute la force offensive presque a été reposée. Est-ce que ça te tracasse de savoir l'adversaire frais?
Non, ça ne me tracasse pas. Ils ont pu le faire. Moi, je voulais le faire. Je l'ai fait un peu à Orlando. Non, voilà, il disait que depuis le début de l'année, c'est comme ça qu'il fonctionne. Donc, encore une fois, on va devoir faire les choses correctement et jouer contre des joueurs qui soient frais ou pas frais. Nous, on doit essayer de ramener quelque chose d'intéressant de ce match-là.
Merci beaucoup, Wilfried. Bon après-midi.
Merci à vous.
Hey, Alistair.
How's it going, guys?
How are you? Thanks for taking the time this afternoon.
Of course, very good. Thank you.
Thank you. First question, Zerkowski.
Thanks, Patrick. Hey, Alistair. Thanks for your time. So many things I'd like to ask you about between, now there's going to be fans dealing with the altitude rather, and if I can get another point in, just what problems do you think Cruz Azul poses that maybe Santos Laguna did not?
Yeah, just to touch on all of those. Yeah, it's a different team. Obviously, we knew that Santos was struggling a little bit to start the year. So Cruz Azul is obviously in a different place, a really strong team. I'm not saying that Santos wasn't, but it's almost a different beast altogether. And then obviously playing at the Azteca it's a different atmosphere than any of the guys will ever have played in before. It truly is something that you need to have played in to really understand. The altitude plays a huge factor. Obviously playing in front of a crowd, they really know how to make that place loud. And it's such a historic stadium. When you walk in there, you can instantly feel, you can just sense kind of the history and the number of massive matches and world all-time great players throughout world's history that have played on this pitch. So All those factors definitely combined to make it a really exciting match for us. Obviously, us being a pretty young team, this is something that, we're going into it really excited and just kind of try and take it in stride. There's been a couple of us that have played at the Azteca before now and play at this altitude, and we try to, spread our knowledge of what it's like, because it definitely does affect you. It affects, that recovery time and really catching your breath. So, trying to pass that info on to the younger guys and really, get them fully acclimated for what they're going to expect, because it's something that you can't really mentally prepare for until you've done it.
David.
Hi, Alistair. You just sort of touched on it about Azteca. I mean, you had a chance to play there just a few months ago. Is this one of the most intimidating plays that you've had a chance to play in?
Yeah, I think it's going to be at the top of my list whenever my career ends. I think it's one of those kind of places that, again, just everything that it has, from altitude to the fan base, just to the history of the stadium. It's really cool when you drive in. You kind of go down this long, almost cobblestone corridor when you're walking in, and you can just see the plaques of all the teams and countries that have played there before, and you can see all the results. And just when you're walking through that, you're seeing, matches from the 1950s, and you're seeing some of the, the massive teams that have played here, from England to Brazil, and national teams to massive clubs. It really kind of puts that in perspective. So yeah, it's a cool just atmosphere and environment to be a part of, and you can really kind of sense it when you get out there. The crowd does a great job here. They always have of really, getting that atmosphere going and making it pretty hostile in there. And then of course, yeah, the altitude just plays a massive role. It's something that you're not used to, although we're lucky in the MLS that we do play at some places that are at difficult altitudes, whether that's Salt Lake or in Colorado. So there's a little bit of that, some guys have felt it before, but it really is, it's a different beast, and you can really sense it when you get out there.
Olivier Brett.
Basically, Alistair, thanks a million for taking the time to keep going on that topic. You're saying that you'd have bits of advice for guys who've never experienced that. What is it? Is it picking your moments? Is it how you breathe? Is it making sure you get back in position as early as you can? What is it exactly that you'd give as a tip?
I think the biggest thing that I've given them is you got to understand that when you make a lung busting run, you say, like, you make an overlap run from fullback, normally when it takes you maybe 10 seconds to recover, it might take you 20 seconds. And that extra 10 seconds required of recovery is potentially when you're going to be going up 1v1 against someone. So it's moments like that where you really need to understand kind of what your body's feeling and understand that, yeah, it's going to be something different. So one of the biggest things I try to, put out there is that there's going to be moments where, we're not going to have the ball, and you can't really just get crazy and start sprinting after things and really trying to chase it in a disorganized fashion. You have to go as a unit, and you have to stay compact, because as soon as you start going on individual kind of game plans, and then that's when you get picked apart, and that's when all of a sudden you really see the guys getting heavy legs when it comes to that 50th, 60th minute, and you'll be looking for more than just 3 guys asking for a sub. You'll see a lot of the team panting. So I've really tried to, instill that in all of the older guys who have played there too, is just, look, we know our game plan. We know what we want to do. If we stick to that game plan, we'll be fine.
Hey, Alistair, thanks for the time. What do you feel is most key for Major League Soccer teams when you're facing those from Liga MX? There's obviously a long-standing narrative between the leagues and such, but what are the biggest kind of keys to success? And what do you feel you all kind of learned through that lens against Santos that could now help you moving forward?
That's a great question. That sometimes go into these matches that a lot of people don't see. Obviously, as the MLS team, we're often seen kind of as the underdog. But I think now, as we've seen more and more, teams from the MLS progress through this competition, is that you don't necessarily need to go into these matches fearing these teams as much as potentially they would before. And I think that's something that, the confidence has grown within each of our groups across the league. And I think that's a great sign. It's going on the road and getting a result is massive, because we understand that, the travel here in Concacaf is crazy. For us to fly from Montreal down to Toluca yesterday, it was a 6-hour flight. And, that's not an easy travel day. So we know if you can come down and you can get a result, then these teams also have to make that return leg. They have to make that exact same travel day that we did, just the opposite way. And we know that it's difficult to come to, play in these places like Montreal, Philadelphia, New England, wherever it is, Seattle, the teams that are in right now, it's difficult. So, just kind of realizing that advantage that we have too is that just because it's a long way for us to go there and it's tough places to play, now the Aztec and some of the amazing stadiums down here, is that it's the exact same, the opposite.
Are you still there? Est-ce qu'on a perdu Alistair ou est-ce que c'est seulement moi? Oui, on confirme que c'est gelé.
We're back.
Yes, you are, my friend. Thank you.
Everything
was going very smoothly, but then you were gone.
Yeah.
So sorry. Don't know if you were over with the answer of that question.
No, it's pretty much just touching on that. It's a difficult travel day. It's difficult to go down and play in Mexico. But we also look at it now is that it's difficult for those teams to come up and play, in our home venues. So, really realizing that it's not as lopsided as sometimes the outside media thinks, that, we have the quality on the field and we have the tactical awareness of what we need to do, that there's no reason why we can't go into these matches and go and get results. So I think that mentality's kind of changed.
Hi, Alistair. Thanks for taking the time today. Obviously, when we saw the draw, we all said to ourselves, this is not an easy road for Montreal. But the fact that you guys were able to beat another Mexican team in the first round, how much does that, affect positively the mentality on the field for tomorrow night's game, knowing that even if you take a goal, guys may not start panicking, say, the way they would have a few weeks back in that first game versus Santos Laguna, for example?
Yeah, I think it's massive. Just realizing that no matter what happens down that away leg, that first leg, that we can come back and we can compete, especially at home. We feel really confident that we can get a result. And I think that goes a long way, because exactly that, in Santos, obviously coming back in a hard fought first leg, going down 1-0 and then coming back and showing, kind of showing the rest of Concacaf that, we do mean business and we can compete with these Mexican teams, getting a huge result in that second leg. It really kind of takes the pressure off, especially being a younger group. We go into these, you can definitely, sometimes get carried away with the moment. But I think now this has really kind of grounded us, and really kind of given this group a sense of, we do belong to be, we belong here. So, no matter what happens tomorrow night, whether we come in, we get 3 points, which would be amazing, kind of go back with the first leg lead, or, maybe we get a draw, or unfortunately, we come out of here in a deficit. No matter what happens, we feel confident that we can go back and turn around anything that needs to be turned around, or, continue to build on that first leg performance at home. So I think that's really good for this whole group's mentality, what happened that first round, knowing that, we can play with anyone in this competition.
Daniel, last two for you. Herb again.
Thank you. And it sounds like I'm going to be asking you the same type of question, but you've kind of touched on it. But I think it's a huge advantage in these competitions to start on the road, because like you said, even if you don't come out of there with a result, if it's a draw, which is a result, but you're only down a goal against Santos, and I think if you can keep it close tomorrow, you must feel like you're in the driver's seat.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. We all grew up watching, UEFA Champions League and Concacaf Champions League. We all know how it works. That first leg it also is a bit of a feeling out process. I think a lot of people don't really take that into consideration, is that this is the first time these two teams have ever seen each other. So that first 45, a lot of times, can kind of be a bit of, both teams trying to gauge what the other team's about. And if that's at home and you can potentially waste that 45 minutes, really trying to figure out, okay, what's their strengths, what their weaknesses are, that's 45 minutes gone from a tie. So, we look at it. I do also think that it's a big advantage playing second, is you really go into that second match also knowing what you need. Your crowd's right behind you, especially if you have a good performance in that first leg. You can really sense the energy in the build up to that second match. So that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to have a performance where, it gets the crowd excited that everything's to play for in that second leg. And that's kind of our plan. We obviously want to come down here and get a great result. And that's something that we're going to be aiming to achieve. But no matter what happens, we want to put in a performance where everyone in the group and, around the city really feels confident that going to that second leg, there's going to be a great chance that we're going to be able to progress.
And the last one for you this afternoon, Frédéric Gay.
Hey, Alistair. Maybe a question about I'm actually curious to know what's your assessment of where you guys are defensively? It's been a couple of games. Is the chemistry all right? Is the plan clear? Like, what is your assessment of you guys defensively so far?
Obviously we're looking at those past couple games. We've conceded more goals than any of us would like, obviously as a back line, as a team in general. I think chemistry is things that, it just takes time. Obviously we have a lot of great defenders here. There's going to be some rotation. And with that, comes a new learning process, guys playing with new players for the first time. But at the same time, we know there was simple mistakes that we could have easily cut out, and we could have had a clean sheet against Philadelphia. And then also, there was just some moments in that Orlando game where we potentially gave up a little more than we would have liked. So I think, yeah, it's definitely a feeling out process. And I think that's what you see from the best back lines across the world, is that there is that sense of chemistry and just knowing, okay, if this guy's going to step there, you have that 100% confidence that exactly where the other center back and the other defenders are going to be. So that takes time, and that's something we understand. We know where we want to get to, and we also understand that we have the quality to be one of the best back lines, not only in the MLS, but also in this region. So we're excited by that. Obviously, it wasn't the best start, but I think we're progressing in the right direction, and with time, things will only get better.
Merci beaucoup. Bon match demain. Thank you.
Thank you.